Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time you're listening to this time. My name is John William, and today is Podcast X. Today's talk will be a slightly more informal one. Um, and last week we were talking about how we love geography and how we did at university. So let's make it a topic this week, and the topic today is university. Was that shit worth it? Joining me today are my two lovely co-hosts.
So
Alex.
yeah.
I did that on purpose. Yes, joining me today is Alex and Tony Ann. Please introduce yourselves. How you doing?
Doing all right. So yeah, my name is
I'm
Alex.
good.
I grad. Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Sorry.
I
Yeah.
didn't know we were doing it at like each.
Well, that's how we'll do it then. Yes. Okay. So yes, I graduated last year from BA Human Geography with Sean. Um. Apparently just studying around just to wait until I do my PGCE in geography.
Sick.
So yeah.
Tony Ann?
Yeah, I'm still studying at the moment, my last year. Waiting to graduate, but obviously won't be an in-person one, but we move.
Yeah, I mean that is like that's really depressing because that's one of the things I looked forward to. The person graduation, the in-person graduation. It's a shame that your year won't have it as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully the year after that will have it, but
No, I think
oh
we
well.
still will. We might even do it with Tony Ann in the same sort of time period. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
but a lot of people won't be there anymore.
Yeah, fair.
So I mean, I suppose all our friends will be there.
hmm
Um, some people I know won't be there for sure because they're international students. But
Yeah, that's true.
hey, it is what it is. Okay, so um, a quick rundown of what we will talk about today. The controversies of the students. Well, no, sorry, the controversies of the universities and the students and the government pertaining to the pandemic and money. Always about money. But before we talk about that type of stuff, we also want to talk about our own experiences in university. Now, if Tony Ann was not present today, I think this talk would be slightly shit because me and Alex, Alex and I, excuse me, are graduates, and therefore we don't have any current experience of what's going on here. So we have a fresh student who can offer their insights on how it's like to be a student during the pandemic. But before we begin that, Alex, Tony Ann, I want to take you back to when you were 16. Your journey starting to go to university. When when you went to sixth form or college, what did you think like about university? Was it something you needed to go to? Was it was it something essential? Was it something that your life really needed? Was it something your parents forced on you? Um, yeah, explain. Alex, Tony Ann, rock paper scissors. Who goes first?
Well, I can never rock paper scissors. Um, okay, I'll go first. I think for me, the driving thing for me to go to university was my school. Um, my school sort of presented university as the natural progression after sixth form. I think as well they just sort of wanted statistics to sort of to look good as well as one of the points, and I sort of did criticize one of the SLT that I said this is my view of the school. You guys just want us to go to university, so your school looks good. Um, but I'm reflecting now. I don't know if that's even true anyway. But I mean, yeah, I think my parents as well sort of expecting me to go to university, so that's where my mindset was, is to go to university afterwards.
Was your school really vain about it?
I
Like,
mean, they did sort of always highlight their former students. Right, this former student here went to Oxford. This former student here went to Cambridge. That sort of stuff. So they were basically saying, guys, we'd like you to add these alumni our school that went to these universities, please. So that's how I've seen it.
okay, Tony Ann.
Yeah, like I feel like it's a similar experience. Um, like my parents, for example, they never really forced me into going to uni. They just said like I can't just be doing nothing. I have to be doing something. If it's not uni, what is it? Is it gonna be work? Am I gonna take a craft into something? it had to be an avenue to go down. But yeah, like the school literally, more so it focused on kids that were doing well, like really well, like the A star students, A plus students. They never really focused on the kids that were getting like C's and B's and D's.
Oh yeah.
Um, and particularly like from my own experience, like the kids of color, they were kind of like pushed aside. And it was always like, okay, that kid who was getting an A star 24/7, that was going to be pushed towards going to, the Russell Group unis and making the school look good. So you kind of felt like, okay, maybe I should go to uni. Like, maybe I should go to sixth form and then go to uni. Like, it was, as Alex said, like the next transition in your life, I guess.
Okay, all right. Well, for the listeners who don't already know, I went to the same sixth form slash high school that Tony I went to. I would say that I had a very similar experience. Um, Pass your GCSEs, you're on top of the world, and you go to sixth form. Suddenly, the teachers are now focusing on university. Outrageous because it's 2 years away. Not really, because 2 years go by in a flash. Um, I like to think that I was given enough attention, but I did see some of my fellow students, classmates, neglected, which is really funny because when they got really good grades, um, they stood there proud. They're like, you didn't help me. I did this myself, you bitch." Um, but then, yes, for me, university was like again sort of the natural thing to do. I didn't know about any other career path, like academic path, if there was any.
Hmm.
I didn't know that you didn't have to go to university. It just seemed like something that you needed to do. Now, I want to talk about some things that may seem controversial. Guys, how did you pick your universities? Be honest. How did you pick your universities? I'll let Tony Ann go first.
I mean, what happened? Let me try refresh my memory as to what I did, because I don't think I remember ever really properly choosing the universities I really wanted to go to. Um, so I think I'm not gonna say the universities, but I had these options, and the uni that I'm currently going to now was never an option.
I
Um,
think I think that's for all of us, right?
Mhm.
yeah, like it wasn't my first pick, it wasn't my fourth pick, it wasn't nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it was not on the list. I think yeah, like I don't know, like the whole process was more so like when you're fresh in sixth form and you're trying to pick your courses, like you're always thinking about like, oh, I want to move out, I want to be like away from the parents, like I want to be independent. So you're not really thinking like, okay, if I pick this uni in Scotland, how am I going to, do this thing and that? So um yeah, so my thought process when picking my unis was not about like the actual course content that the uni was doing. It was more like, where is the furthest and closest to
Oh,
London, and what grades particularly, because I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a solid B student, average. So I was looking at unis that best match the grades that I would possibly get at the end of sixth form, rather than like if the course was good.
oh, okay. So let me just ask this question then. You know those American movies, the ones that like are the coming of age movies where
Mhm.
students go with their parents and they're like, "Oh, do you want to go to this university and check it out for the weekend, see how it is, see the campus, etc." Did you do any of that?
Did I do any of that?
Did you like? I think the formal term would be scouting your
No,
universities.
I never did that. The only time I ended up going to the uni is when I was actually attending.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, okay. That's one experience. Now, Alex, what about yourself? Tell me honestly, or tell the listeners honestly, as much as you can. How did you pick your university?
Well, I mean, I just remember year 12, year 13. I wasn't I didn't necessarily care about university. That wasn't really where my mindset was at the time. But because I sort of finished GCSEs with 4 A's and 6 B's, my school was sort of directing me towards the Russell Group. So I was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna have to pick a couple of Russell Groups to apply for. So that's what I ended up doing. Right, cool. And then my school said, okay, you've got all your choices here, Russell Groups. You're gonna have to pick a university as well as a backup, which has a much more significantly lower entry point. So I was like, okay,
I,
fine.
that's
Um,
harsh,
yeah, no,
but
that's what.
realistic.
Yeah, exactly. They said, well, my school at the time said, yeah, you probably will. Well, you probably will get into these Russell Groups. Spoiler alert, I didn't. Um, but just in case you don't, have this backup. So I was like, okay,
Okay.
let me look around London universities. Oh, there's a university down there. Let me pick that. Cool. So I picked that. Right. So then, the entire sixth form goes through, blah blah blah. I'll admit I wasn't in the right frame of mind, so my grades were not where they were predicted to be.
Okay.
So at the end of that, I didn't get into any of my my first choice university. So I was sort of put into this backup university, which is where I ended up in. Like Shenyang, actually, I picking up these universities. I didn't even look at the course content as well, and I didn't visit any of them either. So I was just literally placed here, and
So
that's where I went.
so did you go through clearing or did you have our university as backup?
Oh, that was my backup, just primarily because my school said
Oh,
this is your backup. I was like, okay, fine, I'll use that as my backup then.
okay. All right. Well, if you could sum up how you chose your university, would it be just I just picked randomly in London?
Um, Pick one Russell Group and pick one university. I didn't think I would actually think about
Not much
that.
thought into put into
Yeah,
it then.
but I knew I would always get into it if, regardless of whatever my A levels would be.
Okay. All right. So on one hand, we have someone who was thinking about getting as far away as possible, or not really about the course content, and on the other hand, we just had someone who just picked in line, in line, line. Wait, so
You make me sound
if
so
And you know what?
irresponsible.
And you know, it was convenient. Like it was like, I don't know, one of the, and I think at the time, like, they were accepting everybody even past the application date. So it was kind of just like, okay, then if you're gonna accept me, then why not?
who our university?
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that as well. There was like our university. Now we have to, for the listeners who know what university we went to, be quiet. But for the listeners who don't know what university we went to, we are afraid. No, not really. We're not afraid, but we don't want any repercussions of naming our university. So for the duration of our podcast, we'll call it our university. Now, I remember seeing our university have so many Facebook ads, social media ads,
Oh yeah.
and they'll be like our university. What's their motto? Never mind,
Yeah,
never mind.
depends.
Wait, our university, their motto, and join now. And in the comments, there was some very snide comments about this university is like an easy partner. They accept anyone, and yeah. Well, I would say that I put a lot of thought compared to you guys. A lot. Like, I'm not trying to say you guys are thoughtless. I'm just like, I put so much thought. I looked into the course. I looked into the which rating. I consulted a lot of my friends. Consulted a lot of the current students, etc. Now, I wasn't meant to go to the university that we all graduated or ended up going to. So I did not go to our university. I went to a different university. Now, this university was a Russell Group, and I didn't actually scout this stupid university. I got accepted on a uh what what would you call them? Those like poor areas, reduced expectations thing, something like that.
Okay.
So
I
I
know what
got
you're talking
accepted
about.
to
Yeah.
there. I got accepted into there. Before I did that, though, it was a choice between a northern university or a London university. And now the only reason was because second year university was a year abroad year. And those two universities were the only universities in the whole of the UK that offered a year abroad in the second year. That's the actual reason why I picked the university. Obviously, some bullshit happened along the way, and I had to take a year off. This explains why I am older than all of my peers. Um, older but not mature.
I was
um,
thinking that.
um, but yeah, that's how the university was picked for all of us. Now we're gonna transition to something. Now this is a very orthodox way of doing it, but now it's because I feel like we should do it. Build it. Did you guys do foundation year just to make sure?
I did not.
No.
Okay, right. Let me take you to first year.
Wait,
I'm
you did a
gonna
foundation year just to make sure what you wanted to be at
no
uni?
no. I didn't do foundation.
Oh,
I did a year one in a northern university. Then I had to drop out because of bullshit, and then come here.
okay.
All right, let me take you all to year one. I'm gonna go first because my year. Let me just go first quickly. Year one was shit for me. I had my wallet stolen, and I didn't want to go to university anymore. I was traumatized. I did all the assignments from home. I passed all of them. Emphasis in pass. I didn't get any higher than 40 because first year didn't count for anything. Let that sink in. Now, my actual question to both of you. Let me take you back to first year of university. What were your expectations, first of all?
Uh, oh, sorry. Go first.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just gonna say because I'll put it straight up. Year 12 and year 13, so sixth form time for me was quite a dark place. Let's put it that way. So me getting to any university was a very plus for me. It was a positive thing. So I saw, regardless of whether or not I wanted to go to this university, I still saw it as an opportunity to sort of rise back up or to a second chance really. So I was positive coming into this university. I was quite excited to see where I would end up. So that's my mindset coming in.
Okay, what was your expectations, Tony?
um, I don't know. Like looking back, because to be honest, I feel as if like the whole 3-4 years have been like a complete blur. Yeah, like I feel as if like I don't even remember how the whole process was going and picking unis and going to uni. For me, like expectations of uni, I just felt as if like, oh, it's just another step in school, you know what I mean? Like it's just another place where I'm gonna learn a couple of things, like two this, and then I'll pass and go about my business. I don't think like I had much expectations of when I went, but like when I spent a month in one of the unis I had picked, I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
What did you hate about it?
Like the area, and bearing in mind like it's not that far from London, so it was a weird place. And like other the things that made it a weird experience was like I was living with a living landlord. And
Oh,
you know how those things are, like she lived in the house and she was
yeah.
there like all the time, and she liked things a specific way. Like I know she was like banging fraud in it, allegedly,
Oh,
allegedly banging frauds, because she would always be like, "Oh, give me the rent cash in hand," and I'm like, "Oh," and when I so basically, long story is like I found her on Gumtree in it, which is not a place where you should find people to rent a house from, really and truly, like
Yeah.
on a quick thing. So I found her on Gumtree. I go down to her place, and I'm like, oh, I really need a place for uni because, like, I didn't book accommodation, blah blah blah. She said, okay, that's cool. Didn't have to sign nothing, right? And I think, okay, that's a bit weird because normally, like when you're living with somebody, you sign a contract or
Yeah, rent agreements,
there was
disposal.
nothing. So black market something, yeah. And I was like, no, this ain't right. And I'm gonna move into this lady's house not knowing like what she's about.
And this was your 1 month in a different university,
In
yes?
a different uni before I came to the current one that I'm at now. So
Okay.
like my experiences up there was kind of just like it put me off.
Yeah.
Not uni as a whole, because I did like the stuff that they were teaching, but I think the location change, and that's what kind of put me off about uni. I didn't expect to feel like homesick, if you know what I mean. I think that's one experience that I didn't expect to feel. and like questioning. Listen, I went through a whole bloody breakdown. I got a tattoo at 18 by myself, and I'm like, I'm out of this place. And yeah, so like it was a whole mess. My first month at uni.
Yeah, you see that homesick feeling, man. When I went to the Northern University, I had a 6-hour drive. The first day, we had 3 hours to go there, and then we had to come. I had to come back with my parents, because I had some issues with the police. So then the next day, I had another 3 hours drive, which in total was 6 hours. When my cousin and my mom helped me unpack my things into my uni accommodation, and I saw their car pull away from the uni accommodation, the homesickness immediately, like boom, went straight to my heart. I was like, I wanted to cry for a bit, because you're that far away from your family. You might quarrel with your family. Um you might have these quirks with your family where you argue all the time, but like it was so quiet the first night. And yeah, homesickness was ultimately one of the reasons why I came back to London. Okay. So that was expectations. Now, let's talk reality. We're gonna go from year one until the end of year one. Was that shit worth it?
Mm.
Yeah, for me. My first year was really the most positive out of the 3 years there, definitely. Just because I think I think it was because of the fact that I was in the geography degree course rather than the human geography course. So of course, being in the geography course is much more diverse, and I think the technicality stuff that comes with physical geography was more added a bit of challenge as well, and the GIS as well. So that was something completely new. So I thought, okay, this is great. You're learning things at university level that you thought you would, which of course, well, I'm sure we'll talk about years 2 and 3 in the future. But for me, year one was a positive experience.
Year one was worth it for you then, yes?
For me,
So
yeah.
let me just clarify. It was worth £9,250 for you to do 9 assignments and 1 field trip, which the field trip was bomb, to be honest. It was sick. It was
What?
worth all that
Where did we
money.
go again?
Wales.
Oh, yeah.
It was worth all that money to not get a grade at the end of the year.
I'm gonna say yes because of the context of me going to uni.
Okay,
For
fair
me, it's all
enough.
about the context. Yeah, so it
Fair
just
enough.
added that sort of new that second second chance sort of thing.
So
Yeah.
on an individual level, aka, or sorry, not on an individual level, on a personal level, for you, it was worth it. Good. I'm glad to
Yeah.
hear that. I'm glad to hear that. I would say no, but I have my reasons as well. Tony, Ann, go ahead.
Was it worth it? Like, to be fair, like, when I think back at first year, like, I just remember like me not wanting to be there, or like me being confused as to whether or not like this is what I wanted. Like, I remember like majority of the time I was thinking like, should I quit? Like, I'm halfway through, like, should I just quit? Because nobody's gonna know, like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know, like, in terms of like work, I don't remember most of the work because I didn't do it. So that's why I had to like retake in summer, and I'ma just be real in it, because I literally did not have a passion for it. And I don't know what like kicked off the passion to be like, okay, no, this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to continue to do. I think that retake in summertime really did it for me, because I had to retake GIS, and you have to do those maps all by yourself. So
Oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna confess something here. You know the GIS doing the maps. Now this
I
is
don't think you want to
something.
confess that.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna confess it. They don't know what university we went to. So, um, you know what's funny, right? Is I didn't attend a single GIS lesson, so I had no clue how to do GIS. So the funny thing was, when it came down to GIS, I could download it on my computer, fine. We had a license, fine. I did not draw the maps. You know what I did? I asked one of my dearest friends, "Can I see your work?" I'm not gonna copy. I just want to see your work. And instead of actually doing GIS, I copied pasted that work. Um, made a different font, made it a different color, and just submitted it. Now, here's my rationale. If we all have the same answers, is it copying? Is it really copying if we all have the same answers? Now, ethically, like for example, if it was a term paper and like there was definitely a different answer, different viewpoint, yeah, I'd say that's cheating. But if the questions are essentially the same for everyone and the answers are expected to be the same, is it really cheating? That's up for them to decide, not me. You could decide too, both of you, if you want.
Well, no, like I think that's the problem of the course that we're doing, isn't it? Like it's well, for the first year, I don't think they really allowed any type of like
Differentiation,
yeah,
But yeah, yes,
like
100%.
actually.
it was literally just
100%.
like basic work. And going from that one uni that I spent a month at, like I learned so much more in that 1 month than I did in first year.
Do you know what? I agree with you so much, and we went to different unis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, going to the Northern University, first of all, it was a Russell group, but I was in, those theatre lectures,
Mm-hmm.
like the ones that you see in Greece. I was in so many of those, and whenever we asked questions, and whenever I got a question right, I felt privileged. I felt like one of those white kids in America that go to Harvard and shit. But then when I went, oh shit. That's gonna be edited out.
Well,
That's gonna be bleeped out. Sorry, that's gonna be bleeped out. Just leave some space here. Okay. When I went to our university, I felt so cheated. I felt so cheated because the lectures were the lecturers were okay. The lectures were crap because, as Tony Ann stated, there was no differentiation. We weren't allowed to explore. They wanted to build the fundamentals to how to answer questions, how to problem solve. Was that a good thing? I'm not entirely sure. But I had a shit first year. That's my conclusion. Now, sorry, go ahead, whoever was talking.
I think it was me. Yeah, it was just like obviously like the first year, like I met you guys and we got a little bit closer and stuff like that. But other than, building friendships and whatnot, the course itself and further on now that I'm doing third year now, I still don't see any like it testing me, like it pushing me to do, the most. You know what I mean? I feel as if like I'm still doing very basic essays and I'm getting good marks for them, but I don't feel as if like it's really thoroughly expanding my mind as it should be for what I'm spending.
Good point.
I just that what you've just basically said. I think that's got me thinking. My positive experience from uni wasn't because of the uni. Wasn't because of the course that I was doing in uni. It was more of everything else I was
bonds.
going on around in uni. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say
Ye-
I have a positive experience, I'm not complimenting the course and the way it was done or delivered. I'm more complimenting the way my mindset changed. So I guess I'm more talking about my personal experience during uni rather than my uni experience. I don't know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're all on the same boat there because I didn't enjoy university the first year, but what I did enjoy was making friends.
Mm.
And I had difficulty making friends up in the Northern University. It was difficult for me, but then when I made friends in our university, um, it it just felt good. It felt good because like when you go to sixth form college, you have your standard set of friends, and your standard set of friends won't go to the same university as you. So for me, yeah, I think the highlight of first year was Wales and making friends. That was my highlight. Okay, so if I asked all of you just to rate it out of 10, what would it be?
Well, I'm gonna rate the year rather than
Yeah, no, sorry, yeah, the year,
which considers still my
everything.
context.
Yeah,
Okay.
your
So
context, fine.
I would give it a 7, which I know is probably a bit controversial for you guys.
Did you say 7 or 6?
7.
7. Tony Ann?
I'll probably give it like a 6.5.
Do you know what? I'm gonna agree with you there, 6.5. Because if it weren't for you guys, I'll give it a straight 3,
Mm.
straight 3. But because you guys were there, you get it. was fantastic. For me, it was fantastic.
Very kind of
We
you.
made it lit.
Yeah, because no, I'm like, you know what they say, right? School and in general education are going to be some of the best years of your life, because where else will you be able to conveniently meet all your friends? I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard that before, but my geography teacher told me that once. Because
First time hearing it.
you conveniently meet all your friends in one spot. If you look at nowadays, we all have our own friendship circles. I have a friendship circle with my boys, and we all went to the same school. I haven't seen my boys for almost 2 years now. I suppose maybe one of those years is due to the pandemic, but even before then, we would only meet up like once every 6 months. I don't blame them, and I don't blame myself. We're busy adults, but you see my point. School, university is one of the only places you'll be able to meet everyone conveniently. Um,
Mhm.
okay, now moving on to year two. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say this: year two was a 100% upgrade over year one. For me, it was a 100% upgrade. Um, but we'll talk about that. What I want to do differently this time is no, I'm not gonna do anything different. Was year two, was that shit worth it? Let me know.
I think for one module, I think only one module out of the four that we studied was the one that defined that year for me.
Which one was that?
I'm sure it's the same one that you're thinking of as global capitalism. Uh,
Uh, uh,
that
uh,
for, I don't know actually, because I know you're quite passionate about that, but for me, I think it was the introduction of thinking about economies and Marxism, which is something that's particularly of interest to me because of me at the time being part of the Conservative Party, which of course is quite iffy on Marxism, as I'm sure you can agree. So that sort of defined that year for me. But I mean, in terms of comparing that to year one, I still view year one more positively than year two and year three. Because to me, year two and year three are sort of the same thing. They're kind of a bit more blurred to me, except for year three. Year three is still fresh in my mind, of course. But year two, I think that's what made it for me, and the GIS there as well.
oh, well, I mean, for me, I like social cultural geography because that was so funny. You remember, without naming
Oh
names,
yeah,
you remember
I
being
didn't know you
told
picked it up.
that everything is a social construct. Um, and you know what? I regret so much because I missed so many lessons. But I remember reading the group chat, and the the class exploded over one of the lecturer's comments. Um, it was very racist apparently, or something like this.
Oh,
But
Was it?
no, not racist as
what
in
was the
terms of
quote?
like I can't. You know, I'd have to go back over the chat, but it it was okay. It was KM's lesson. Um,
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
and that lesson was about race or gender. I think it was gender.
I think it
Either
was gender, yeah, not
either
race, yeah.
gender or race. And I was away. I was planning my marriage, and I remember reading that entire section, and everyone blew up because what did she say? What did they say? Sorry, um,
It was about
something.
pregnancy.
Was it not something about trans are not real, and it's just a social anyway? Social cultural geography was definitely the most interesting for me because they finally let us explore and answer our own questions and
Well,
do our own thing. What about you, Tony Ann?
I mean, with social cultural, like, do you like in your like true opinion, do you really think that they allowed us to really voice our true opinions?
I don't
Because
think it was enough debate, yeah.
no, it wasn't. Like, we had amazing topics to speak about: race,
Hmm.
gender, all of these things that, and we touched on like what? Like nothing basically. We touched on the basic things like slavery
Yeah,
and
but
feminism.
that's why I think it was the beginning. It was the beginning of us finally starting to explore. I mean, look at it this way: from year
But
one,
for ourselves, for ourselves.
no, I mean we were allowed to explore. The amount we were allowed to explore was very limited. Because I'm gonna say this right now, they had big egos and they had a small position. If we didn't read their stuff, we would get a shit grade automatically. Anyway, um, look at it this way, guys. in year one, we weren't allowed to explore whatsoever. Like, I'm not sure if you guys would agree, but I would say
It
we
was to
weren't
the
allowed to
books,
explore.
you were
It
saying.
was all to the books. It was all about learning fundamentals.
Yeah.
Year two, I would say we were allowed to explore. Whether that's a lot of exploration, is a different question, but we were allowed to explore. That's my 2 cents on it anyway. I do agree though that we didn't really touch on anything.
Yeah, because the only time I really remember a conversation happening was when a particular person who is bald, let's say, was expressing quite controversial opinions.
He wasn't bold back then though.
Well, something along those lines. You know, yeah, we all know who we're talking about. Macklemore, if you remember this. So, um, yeah, so controversial opinions, and then of course, a fellow vocal student, female, was arguing with this person. See, if we had more of that, I think we could have developed a proper argument because I believe how people sort of saw that was kind of as a funny
Listen,
moment instead of a serious conversation, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
I know I wasn't there and I heard about that and I wish I was
Yeah,
there because from the way you guys described it, it could have easily turned into a proper debate, but then
yeah, but it didn't.
it was just kind of ushered away by the lecturers. Now, see, that's another thing that I had an issue with. Debates were often guided.
They shied away from controversy.
Shut
Yeah. There
down.
we go. There we go. I remember this one time where we were talking about appropriation and the exploitation of less developed countries, and
Hmm.
I remember them. I remember them asking, "Who is at fault here? Who is responsible for the exploitation? Let's just say Africa, because Africa was really one of the most exploited continents. The question was um, who was at fault? Now, I think they were looking for specific answers, but I
Hmm.
said the white man.
Okay.
The way the way you sat back and he was like the white man.
Okay, more. All right, I said the white man.
Good,
No,
good.
but I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong, but I don't feel like that was acknowledged. But then when they said, "Oh, the colonization powers, British, the Dutch, the Belgians, the Belgians, excuse me," they acknowledged that. But when I generalized and said the white man, I wasn't acknowledged there. First of all, it was made fun out of, and then they answered the question. But yes, I think those um lectures were very guided and steered away from controversy.
Then
Um,
why do a course on it then? Why do a
exactly.
module on it if you are not ready to have this conversation? You want me to do an assignment for you on socio-cultural aspects or whatever the case may be, but you don't want to have a dialogue with me in order for us to all in the classroom to first of all learn new knowledge, second of all to communicate with one another in order for us to sort of, because a lot of the people that was in our class, well, not a lot of the people, but a few people in the class probably still have the same thought processes in regards to certain topics as they do right now. Like their thought process hasn't changed because why? We possibly weren't allowed to have those kind of conversations with them in order for them to really understand. And then when BLM, for example, came about, and now you see the same students, with this same negative thought processes as they said in class. You like, what is university for if it's not for educating other people on different ideas? That's why I kind of have a problem with it, is because that is, you say that university is to make the new the next prime minister, the next doctor, the next this, the new revolutionaries, but yet
Mm.
you're not teaching us anything in order for us to become that way. Yes, we are independent, yes, we're adults, and we should do that for ourselves, and we should do things that we're passionate about, but at the same time, like, I feel like things could have been done a bit more.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There was a lot of responsibility that the lecturers had, and I feel the same way. They pretty much bottled it. Um, they could have really
Because
allowed us to talk more.
Yeah, because before coming to uni, what I thought, the way I was thinking about uni was a place of massive debate where students were really vocal about their opinions and people were
What's
telling each
that?
other constantly, but that didn't really take place.
What's that
Hmm?
TV show? What's that TV show where they're debating all the time? The British one. Uh, like they're debating, like crowd members debate with the panel members. What's that TV show called?
Oh, question time.
Is it called Question? I thought university was gonna be like that. Where like the lecture. You know what? Actually, hold up. Let's do one other thing. Let's just expose our experience. I was sick and tired of seeing the amount of PowerPoints, and you could tell these PowerPoints were no. You could see. I don't mind using PowerPoint. PowerPoint is there for you, but you can tell these PowerPoints were pre-made years and years ago. Um, and like they've been sticking to the same content this whole time. Now, Alex and I are both becoming teachers, so maybe this hits us more than Tony Ann. But if Tony Ann, if it hits her as well, cool. But when we learn about teaching, we're taught not to do the same things over and over again. Um, keep it fresh, keep students engaged, and that's at a younger level. But these lecturers, they would have the same PowerPoint for one lecture, and I guarantee they reused it for years to come. Anyway, that's a mini rant. That's a mini rant.
No, no, I find that quite funny actually, because as you know, I went to a external review a couple of weeks ago, right?
Oh
And
yeah. Okay,
that
here we
was
go.
actually brought up by a recent graduate or whatever it was, a graduate recently. And he said that and actually he's a geography teacher now. This person that commented this, he said universities are still, or the specific university is still using a lot of PowerPoints, and pedagogically speaking, that's not engaging people. So that basically means you're not really engaging learning as effectively as you could if you use other methods apart from using slides. And the university said, yeah, we've been thinking about that a lot recently, and we have
Fuck
tried to
off.
do a lot of things different.
Fuck
And
off.
that was basically what they said. Yeah, which I put an eyebrow up, let's say,
Let
because
me
I didn't
just
really see that.
translate that for the listeners. What did you say? Yeah, we're thinking about it. Let me translate. We don't give a damn. We don't give a
Not
damn
changing it
because
either.
how often do they have those reviews? Is it once every year, Alex?
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Okay, cool. They've had 7 years. Uh look, we had one assignment that was rehashed 7 years in a row. They had 7 years to think up of a new assignment. And in between those years, someone probably said, "This assignment's boring. You use too many PowerPoints." And they all said, "Yeah, yeah, we'll think about it. Chill, we'll think about it." Nope. So yeah, no, fuck off, man. Not you, Alex, but the notion that they say, "Oh yeah, we're definitely going to rethink our PowerPoint." No way. Don't agree.
And with that whole assignment and that, like, aren't you not tired of reading the same assignment after 7 years?
Exactly.
Like, aren't you not tired of saying the same PowerPoint over and over and over again? Like, can you imagine, like, we spent all this money to, like, look at old PowerPoints? It's crazy.
It's crazy. It is crazy. All that money to look at PowerPoints. I think at one point, that became my slogan: 9250 for PowerPoints. Just bear that in mind. Okay, so to wrap up year two, was that shit worth it? An out of 10.
Well, I had to retake year two, didn't I? That's
Yeah,
why, like,
but you only retook one module though, right?
yeah, but the thing is that idiot, I can't say his name, but like, I swear to God, every single time I saw him after that, I wanted to like punch him in his face, because the thing was, I was still doing my physical module. For the people that don't know, physical is basically like looking at, the physical landscape of geography, soils, oceans, blah blah blah. And when I told you, like, I'm not good at the science, I'm not good with maths and all of that stuff. So, and I wasn't passionate about it, so I kind of just flopped that module. Had to retake it in summer. Retook it. One of my lecturers for that one was calm. He gave me the grade that I needed. Exam was calm. I got it. But that one lecturer did me so dirty to the point where like failed me. And I had to retake it again. And I said, listen, I'm not doing it. If I'm going to retake this year again, I'm not taking a physical module. Put me on human. So that's why I transitioned to human geography, more so the fact because like physical geography was annoying my spirit. And I wasn't about to pay another $2,000 on top of that to retake it again and look like an idiot. So I'd moved. But yeah, second year, because I did it twice. The first time it was calm. I quite enjoyed it. You know, second time was a bit difficult because I was literally doing one module and I was by myself because you guys were the year above and you guys had your own life and stuff like that. And I was literally only coming in once a week. So it was kind of just like second year, the second time around was a bit lonely in a way. I mean, I still saw you guys, but yeah, like being in a class and doing the work and feeling like, oh, I should have been in third year at this point. And I don't pity myself because I know what I did and I know that I didn't do the work that I could have done. So like it is my fault at the end of the day. But yeah, it was kind of just like, oh, you know, one of those feelings. But now in third year now, I don't know. Second year, second time, it was all right because I was actually doing something that I liked. I did the capitalism one. So I like that. So yeah, that was my experience.
So you see, I would think of your experience with this quote then, if it might help you. Don't see it as failure, see it as redirection. Because like I said, you know, if you carried on anyway, you would have stuck with the physical geography.
Yeah.
And then what would happen with that?
Okay. What about you, Alex?
Wait,
What's
what did you
your
rate it,
rating?
Tony Ann?
Huh?
Sorry, what did you rate it out of 10?
Wait, which ones? The first one or the second one?
Oh, right. Okay.
We'll do the first one.
This first one, the first experience was, I think I'd rate that maybe like a 7.5, 8. Second one, obviously like a 4. But as you said, like it was redirection and stuff like that for me. So that was, just had to put that into perspective, really.
What about you, Alex?
I just put it as a 5. I think for me, second year, I was seeing it as more of just going through the motions, just doing the assignments, thinking nothing of it. Because I think it's, you know, it's like the middle year. You're established member of the university now, and you've got another year to go. So you're like, okay, cool, just keep carrying on. But I think at this time though, I was thinking about the university versus the course, because I see the university in a better light than I do the course. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, if you know what I'm talking about when I say that. For example, I can tell that maybe the university does care about its students. Maybe I don't know if you think the same thing or not.
Did the university care about its students?
At the time, I was thinking because I mean they have the spirit rather, but not necessarily infrastructure to necessarily help the people or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you. Did the university care about its students?
No.
I mean,
Not
obviously there was that
really.
controversy that happened last year. I think we all know what we're talking about in Instagram. But
What, with
anyway,
the
I'm sure
rugby team?
no.
Oh, I
What the
don't know what you're
BLM? Their response to BLM.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
and
we'll
their
talk
Twitter
about that.
posts
Yeah.
and all of that. Oh, don't get me started,
what was
Alex.
the wait? What was the issue with hey? What was the issue with our university with BLM? What? I never heard that.
Do you want to go first, Alex? Or
Just a quick rundown, just so that we don't detour quickly. Just a quick rundown.
Yeah, so on Instagram, you know how every university was posting, you know, support for BLM and all that sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
The university decided to take a much more conservative approach by saying everyone's different. This is something along the lines of everyone's different. It's better that way. So they didn't actually talk about what was going on. They just said that quote, which
yeah, like we all have our differences, but you know, blah blah blah. And then they posted some idiot stuff on Twitter as well. That still, they posted like 3 days later after that controversial thing about Black Lives Matter, and then we're like, oh yeah, we realized that we did such wrong things and we apologize and we're doing better as a university to sort of, you know, blah blah blah. And I'm like, and then after that they've just been promoting bare, like, join the ACS and join this and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, oh, all of a sudden now you want to promote.
Oh,
And yeah.
I never heard about this controversy. The controversy I heard of was the rugby team being racist to an opposite like school,
I mean, that was a
and
course controversy, yeah.
yeah, okay, that wasn't but like in terms of like caring
Oh
about his
yeah,
students,
okay.
they took immediate action. I don't know what action they took, but they took
Yeah.
immediate action.
It was viewed
Oh,
as not actually not. I'm gonna question. I'm gonna just go against what I actually said. I mean, it was viewed as inadequate though, their action as well in that controversy you're talking about by
oh
the
yeah, oh
victim.
yes.
Yeah.
Some people did say that what the action they did wasn't enough. Yeah. But you'll always get someone who like isn't happy with like the action. They'll be like, no, we want more. And at some point there has to be a threshold. But that's neither here or there. That's another discussion. But um oh wow, I never heard about this controversy. I suppose what would that indicate? Does that indicate that the university cared about its students or it didn't? What I don't know.
Well,
Uh,
I think
I'm
they
not
had
sure
to
how
put on
big.
a face. Like
it's a what,
What was
sorry?
that?
they had to like save face, you know what I mean? Like they had to put on, because imagine like all your universities are doing that, and you're the only university that doesn't do anything. I think it's sort of more so caring about students. I don't know. You have your individuals within that uni that probably do care about the students, but as a whole, I feel like it's a universities are a corporation at the end of the day. They've got to look good.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I think actually the reason why I said that is because I was working in first year in charity campaign that for the university. I was employed by the university to raise funds for hardship funds. So I think that's probably why I said that. But actually reflecting on everything else, actually maybe that might contradict that statement. Because actually I don't know if I told you guys this. I had what can be called legal troubles with the university as well.
Oh, spicy.
Accommodation.
Oh,
Now, Tony Ann, I'm sure you might agree with me that it was very substandard. Oh wait, no, you were in private
No, but they
accommodation,
were
weren't you?
always playing with my money. They were.
here we go. Oh no, you did tell me about this. Wait, hold up a sec. You
I
did.
did.
Was it
Me.
about the university? Sorry, the accommodation you went to was they were charging you for something that was wrong.
No. So basically, it was causing health problems for one of
Here we
my
go.
flatmates, and for me, it was just wasn't not for me. It wasn't causing me health problems, but it was causing, a lot of structural. There were structural issues there, and it had to be reconstructed. That building, parts of it, the roof. That
Okay,
is.
okay.
So I said to the university, I'm not happy about this. We should all be given our money back for this accommodation. I was contacting what was that free hotline for lawyers? That's what
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah, that one as well. And so I was really going towards the route. Okay, I might have to sue these people, but
Did you
at the end
win?
of the day, no, at the end of the day, they conceded a few hundred quid to us.
Well, a victory, if anything.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well then, third year. Now, this is more relevant to Tony Ann, so we'll let Tony Ann go last so that she can explain.
Mhm.
But third year, for me, I had no issues with third year because now I say because I know a lot of university students, a lot of my friends who go to different universities were heavily impacted. Now, technically speaking, we finished uni in March, right around the pandemic's beginning, I think. That's me. So that's me anyway. I didn't have any issues with university in third year. The content was garbage, but that didn't change from second year. Again, the course itself was garbage. The meeting new friends, was fantastic. I don't regret a single like friendship that I made that year. So that's my 2 cents. What about you, Alex?
Wait, can you go through that
John, what's
experience?
been going on?
It's because I'm so comfortable talking. I'll edit that. I'll edit that out. So sorry, Alex. I'll edit that out.
Yeah. Wait. What did you say anyway?
The question was, third year, was that shit worth it? Because think about it. Look, a lot of the issues that stem from current
Oh, absolutely.
students is that they can't get the learning that they need. So
Yeah.
we got the learning that we needed. We were allowed to use the facilities. We were allowed to use whatever we needed, and we were more fortunate than other courses because our course finished in March. Well, semantics, but we basically finished in March.
I'm gonna say 100% no,
It
just
wasn't worth it.
because you know this assignment that I'm talking about specifically, where we had to write a report about London's issues or South
Oh
Africa's
yeah.
issues, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing that right now.
That is 20. Would you agree with me? That is not university level. That is GCSE level.
Yeah, it's the most basic flipping report. Like, you got, listen, the way that I'm online, yeah, with these Zoom calls or whatever you want to call it, and I've got the students like literally complaining about, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I'm like, this work is literally like copy and paste and put little
That's what I'm
pictures here and there.
saying. It's not engaging.
It's not. No. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
It wasn't engaging one bit.
yeah. You know what I put in the feedback for the module? I said this is a highly unengaging assignment and topic, and as a result of that, students will not feel challenged, and therefore they will not put as much effort into it because of that lack of challenge, and therefore they will not achieve the grades that they would have gotten as a result of being challenged. So,
Bro, you're a Karen.
No, but it's true though.
No. We need a
True.
Karen. We need a Karen. Yeah, no. We need a Karen. We need a Karen. I wasn't the Karen. You were the Karen. It was anonymous, right? Because I remember
Yeah, I
writing
hope so.
some.
Yeah,
I remember writing some shit there. I was like, your course is dead.
I didn't
Straight
go
up.
as far as to say that, but
No, yeah, but I agree. I agree.
it was unchallenging.
It was very unchallenging. But simply put, we had the access to everything we needed. I would say we had everyone in our geography course had access to everything we needed, had access to the correct facilities, the correct people to speak to. I would say we weren't impacted by COVID. Now, Tony Ann, you're on a different boat because you did. Correct me if I'm wrong. You did your second year in our third year, right?
Yeah.
And then you're doing your third year right now.
Yeah.
So tell us honestly, is this shit worth it?
I mean, my whole university experience was not flipping worth it. To be fair, like I'm just gonna be like wholeheartedly honest. Like, not my whole education wise of uni wasn't worth it. Everything else, like friendships, all of that, worth it. But education wise, I feel as if like it could have been so much better. I mean, I'm not gonna say like I didn't learn anything, but like at the same time, I feel as if like I could have learned more. I could have been doing more. Like I could have, they could have, and also me could have done more. But as we said, like it's a bit restricted in what the content that is given to us and what we need to do. Right now, done a couple of the assignments already, and I don't know, like the recent coming assignments that we have like are literally the most basic level assignments that I've ever done in my life. Like I'm annoyed because I feel as if like, yeah, I'm spending all this money to do stuff that is first of all not challenging me, I'm not passionate about. I'm doing this because I want to get a good grade and I'm this far already. Like, why am I going to like fail myself when I'm this close to graduating right now and I've already spent all this money? So right now, plus with the COVID situation, like I don't think my third year has been worth it because it hasn't pushed me to do anything that's substantial. Every assignment that I've done so far has literally been like a quick thing. Like it's simple. Like I don't have to sit down and think like about stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just get my bibliography done and then write up and then I hand it off. I don't even don't even
Do you know?
fact check it.
Do you know what? There's something else I have to confess to, or sort of expose. There's, without naming any names, there were 4 students, including myself, who went on Amazon and typed in a topic that we needed to write on. I'm not going to say which assignment, because if I say which assignment, then they might go back and be like, "Hey, this guy cheated." So, haha. We went. So, say for example, we have a topic. We would go on Amazon, type in X about this, and we would find a random book, and we would cite that book in our bibliographies, and they wouldn't read it. They wouldn't even fact check us. Yeah, okay, cool. I understand. Turnitin was there for that job, but seriously, what if someone legitimately went through books and they were like, "Oh shit, this author's amazing. I'm gonna cite him," and they don't read your site, or they don't read what they have all these days. Okay, here's another thing. Why the hell did they take so long marking our shit? Why? Okay, you got so many, but as a professional, you have to be marking that shit. Now, see, there's something that Tony Ann said that's got me thinking. She said she doesn't pity herself because she knows she could have done more. I 100% agree. There is a self-responsibility that all students have to have. But please, listeners, don't pretend that going to university is a 100% student commitment. You enter a contract with the university. The university has to have some responsibility in delivering an entertaining, an engaging course. And I, for one, think that it was nowhere near like that. Now, this seems kind of weird because last week, listeners, you listened to us rave about geography so much, but that's because a lot of our ravings come from doing work that is outside of university and not getting the engagement we need at university. Anyway, that's my small rant. The university lecturers didn't care about our work. They didn't care about our work. As long as we had a general direction of what they wanted, yeah, 100%. There you go. You can have a 70. Oh, you didn't write the bibliography that I wanted? Here, have a 65. I feel sorry for you. That's me though.
I don't think I've ever went to the library and picked up a book, like my whole 3-4 years at uni. Like I've never taken out a book from the uni at all.
No, neither have I.
Like I will go through and touch the books and
I've been in there. I've taken out a book and read it, but I put it back immediately afterwards.
Yeah, well, that's so bad.
Yeah, but they didn't care. Like, oh, have you ever had this feeling where you've had so much thought into an assignment? You're so proud of that assignment, and you get it turned back, and it's like a 64 or 63 or something. By the way, those aren't bad grades. I'm just saying, you thought you would get more. Have you ever been through that? And any of you?
I think. Are you Are you saying? Because I would agree if you say this, that you're saying that the person marking its ideology is affecting the way they grade it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I can see that of certain assignments. Yeah.
One of our great friends basically said, if you write what they want you to write, you will get the grade. And as we're not vastly different people, me and that person, but when they said that, something in my mind just said, you're a sellout because you're not writing for you, you're writing for them. I never told them that, but that's what I honestly think. If the lecturers only mark good grades based on if they're seeing what they want to see, and you pander to that, you're a
But isn't
sellout.
that what we're doing anyway?
No, that's what I'm saying. We did do that, and
Yeah.
the people who didn't do that, like myself, on a few occasions, got really grades, and I'm kind of mad about that.
Yeah. Like from a specific someone, I don't know. Well, we'll talk about it afterwards, but from a specific lecturer, like if you didn't write exactly what she was thinking. How am I supposed to write what you're thinking though? Like, how am I supposed to write what you want? You know what I mean? And then she'll give you like a shit grade, but you know.
Yeah.
I feel like we all know who this.
We
Anyway.
we all know who this is. Lovely lady,
Yeah.
but in terms of teaching, I'm sorry, man. I did not enjoy your lectures. Okay, moving on from that. Moving on from that, I want to end the podcast on one final topic. Having talked about our university experiences and having Tony Ann as a current university student, there's something I want to touch on. Have you guys seen on whatever social media you're on or whatever platform you're on? Have you seen these discussions on students petitioning to have their pandemic years refunded or their uni accommodations refunded? Let's
Yeah.
go with pandemic years refunded first. What do you guys think about that?
I think graduates of class 2020 should have partially refunded for, from was it February or March onwards, those months refunded accommodation, including
So that would be our
tuition
year.
fee. Yeah, so that should
Okay.
be funded.
What about Tony
Um,
Ann's year?
Tony Ann's, yeah, I would suggest you either refund all of it or you significantly reduce that, and by significant I mean like 1,000.
I would.
A
I
1,000?
I think it's unrealistic to expect a full reduction. So unfortunately for you, Tony, and I don't think that you should be refunded 9,000 grand.
No,
But
like I totally agree. Like I'm not with this whole like idea that I should get my 9,000 something back. You know what I mean? Like I feel as if that's what a lot of people want. But for me personally, like when we look at unis people think that the government is what controls the uni and how they, you know, give the fees and whatever. But the university itself controls how much they charge and what they want out of you. So if your uni tells you, I'm not paying you back, they're not paying you back. Like, it is what it is. But I feel as if, like, if you're not going to give me, like, a partial payment, at least, like, reduce the amount of total at the end
there you go.
of, you know, like, reduce that amount. I'm not
What
saying, like, I shouldn't pay, but come on.
what would be an acceptable reduction in your final year? I think the current rate is 9,250. I think 7,000 is an adequate reduction.
No.
No. Okay, listen. Maybe that's a bit. Okay, that's a bit generous. As soon as I said that, my brain was like, "You're stupid." No,
Sorry,
um,
9,250 to 7,000, or a
no,
reduction by 7,000.
yeah, reduction by 7,000. That's kind of stupid. I agree. Okay, maybe
Oh
5,000.
yeah.
Maybe
Wait.
like to 5,000. Like students should have to pay 5,000 for their final year if they graduate like this year. 5,000.
Or 3,000 back to 2010 levels, even. No, but John, I think the controversy around this entire debate isn't necessarily to do with tuition fees. I think it's to do with the accommodation.
Yeah, no. But we'll get to that. But like,
Okay.
the education is a big one because like, let me put it in context then. My brother-in-law gets enough lab time for his things. Like whatever like assignments he's done. Last time I talked to him, he said he gets a lot of lab time, but not enough. Then on the news there was this talk about chemistry students having to learn chemistry via games given to them by their university. Like when I mean games, I mean like elementary games. Like what will happen if you mix yellow and blue together? Green, stuff like that. What will happen if you mix methylamine with phenylacetic acid? Meth. You know, that's what I'm saying. So the education is seriously like subpar. It's not what it should
Oh
be.
yeah, definitely.
That's why there's like talks of we should have a reduction or a full return because this is not what we signed up for.
I mean, my final position on this is make universities free anyway. But since that's not going to happen, I'll say just bring it back to 2010 levels, 3,000.
For because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Tony? Do you think there should be a reduction because of the pandemic, or are you happy, or Should it just be free? What do you think?
I feel like there should be like a partial reimbursement for certain things because, as you said, like it's not what we sign up for. It's not the experience that we're getting. Like, fair enough, we're in a pandemic, and none of us have been prepared for something like this. I don't fault the educators for, you know, not being prepared to deal with like online lectures for God knows how long. But at the same time, like this is not what to be fair, I'm just gonna say that from my experience, like I don't being online lectures and comparing it to the rest of the year that I've experienced with uni, I don't really see a difference
I was
because
about to say, yeah.
yeah, I don't see a difference because all our years, first to third year, could have all been done online.
I mean, honestly, all of it could have been done online.
Yeah.
All of it, and I think I think we're all testament to that. I believe I'm more so a testament because I did most of my first year online. But yeah, all of it could have been done online.
Yeah.
Food for
So
thought. Food for thought, honestly. Okay, what about now accommodation? This is a big one because I have issues with accommodation. But to kick it off because Alejandro had some preconceived thoughts about the accommodation controversy. Go ahead.
Well, the only the main source of news that I've about accommodations come from ITV News, which I think has covered this quite a massive amount, or fair amount more than the other. Because you know how Asia been, so because the government, I believe, did say, yeah, you're free to, as in you'll be able to do your
Closed it
education at
down.
university. So exactly. So you need to refund them owned accommodation, which is,
Not run.
of course, not going to work, which I think would be the challenge there. But I don't know, because I mean, I got a contentious issue as well, because then, of course, who's going to pay for it at the end of the day? But the British taxpayer, and these are international students. So how would people have a duty as taxpayers to do that anyway? Because internationals, and, you know, academic powerhouses around the world, and who stay here as well afterwards to work and contribute to society. So
Okay.
I think
Tanya, what do you
they
think? Do you think accommodations should be refunded? Partially refunded or
well,
not
I've
touched?
seen some of the Kingston accommodation and by my
I'm gonna have to
gosh, like
just to say
yeah,
that.
so I've seen certain universities accommodations and they are not adequate for the amount pandemic or
Yeah.
not. Like I don't think you should be charging students so much money. That's what it is. It's not a home, it's not an accommodation, it's not adequate for that. And especially now, like I think like I got an email from my uni and it said that a lot of the students are gonna get some of their not tuition, accommodation fees back, but not the people that are in private
No,
accommodation.
it's honestly a very, very contentious issue. Um, again, I draw back to what Alex said. Um, who's going to ultimately pay for it? And it would UK taxpayers be happy to pay? I doubt it, but it's not
Actually, no. I
fair
think
what's going
I
on.
think they would be happy.
Do you think the average Joe would be happy to
I
pay
think
for
so,
someone?
actually.
I mean, with all the controversy already with people not wanting to pay taxes because of benefits and stuff, you think adding one more would be okay
I
with
I
taxpayers?
think students are a particularly different sort of thing because from how I've seen people react on social media, I think the overwhelming sort of reaction is, "Yep, I have sympathy for university students. We should do as much as we can for them." And I think that
Okay,
would go as far as to paying for it.
okay. Well, that aside, here are my personal 2 cents. I believe that they weren't technically lied to. It was just an unforeseen circumstance that is unfortunate. The UK government didn't lie when they said you are free to use the facilities. Blah 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 blah. They didn't lie. You were allowed to use the facilities at that specific time. It's just that their management of the situation was screwed up to the point where they had to go back on their promise. It's not well. It is. Is it a lie? Is it a broken? It's a broken promise. Okay, but they didn't lie. They just didn't see this one coming. Now there has to be some personal responsibility. I know quite a few people who applied for university last year, and I said, "Why would you apply for university? You know it's pandemic." They said, "Yes, fine. All of it will be done on online learning, and probably by second or third year, I'll be able to actually experience the university." I actually thought that is a good like train of thought, rationale for wanting to apply to university. Um, Now the sense of responsibility here comes from some of my friends and like family when they applied, and I said, "All right, that's a far university. We have no family that lives there. What are you gonna do?" I'm gonna stay at home. They literally told me I am gonna stay at home and not go to university, and I said why, and they said I am gambling that it's gonna be an online learning. Now I can appreciate that not many people saw the second wave and the ultimate closures of universities and the accommodation. But you kind of have to try to predict these things. You have to kind of try. I think the university run accommodations should be refunded either partially or full. If it can be done full, fantastic. If not partially, private, I can't really say anything because those landowners or landlords, they're just like us. They're just trying to get by. So I'm not gonna touch that. But there has to be some personal responsibility. Next time, use your common sense or try to predict these things. I think it's unfortunate what some people are doing. I've read of cases where there are students who have come home and they're paying for their university accommodation whilst not living in it. Sounds unfair, but you signed a contract. You're a big person. You should have read the contract. That's my 2 cents, my personal 2 cents. It can be disagreeable. It can be agreeable. It is what it is. Okay. I think we've had a fruitful conversation about our university experience and everything we've done. Would you guys agree?
Yep.
Extensively.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask now the ultimate question. University. Was that shit worth it? In short, just be very concise and quick. Yes, and then example. No, and then example. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, in terms of friendship, building friendship, that was fun, and experiencing like our trip, because we had our trips and stuff like that, so we got to get into some fun stuff. So yeah,
No,
that was
and no in terms of course, right, Tonya?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alex?
And I would say yes, because it set the direction of my life in a sort of stable way.
Oh, Oh,
Makes sense.
I
So,
can respect that. It gave you a structure to life and a
yep,
direction. I can
which
respect
I
that.
definitely needed at that time. Yeah, so
I can respect
yes,
that. I think yes, in terms of creating links, could have been a yes if the university had executed their bloody curriculum better, but no, in that sense. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, that's a very anticlimactic ending, or it's a very good ending, depending on how you want to see it. Thank you very much for joining our podcast this evening, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you may be listening to this. Did you like university, or did you want to go to university, or have you been? I think I just asked those questions several times. Please let us know in the comments below or anywhere. If you want to join in the future talks, there will be a link to join a Discord server where we host most of our talks. These opinions are all our opinions. Please do not harass us. We do this for fun and not to get clout. Thank you to my co-hosts for another beautiful podcast episode. We will be doing one soon with a new co-host, and that will be on relationships. Spicy. Again, thank you very much for your time. My name is John.
and I'm Alex.
and I'm Tony Ann.
Thank you very much for being with us tonight. Good night, good day, good morning, wherever you are.